There we go. All right. So
This is a game that happened
um
a while back, like
yeah,
a month back.
we're not very quick on the photo. No. This is the attack
I
speed
guess
Lulu game. In case anyone remembers.
it's a hack speed Lulu Solomon not Solomon Leo inching one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can I just say that I didn't as hard as some other people?
No, you
But
inted
no, you
really
both
hard.
entered really hard.
You
Oh,
both.
I thought you said you were gonna ignore the fact that I entered.
No, we never
No,
said that.
no.
Okay, sure,
But so
sure.
alright. So the first thing that I'm sure that we've all talked to you many times about is um specifically this death here between Lulu and Kindred. Um
Morgana
this
and Kindred, not Lulu.
sorry, wasn't it? No, it's Lulu and Kindred.
Oh, Lulu and
Lulu came from top and killed Kindred.
interesting.
So first of all, so long as no one dies from this, Lulu actually loses quite a bit of value because she didn't even take TP. And then Solomon just pushes in the wave here.
Uh yeah. Well, she can get back in time. Solomon, he shouldn't push.
It
He
depends.
can let slow push out.
Like if Lulu recalls in time to catch a wave, then you could just have a 4v4 fight, right?
No, but she can walk up there anyways in time. She's gonna make it in time. But and Shen's Wayflower isn't good enough without Tiamat to actually push it.
But like, it's not necessarily a problem that Lulu comes down here because I think she still is like missing at least like 2 CS.
She's missing 2 CS, but you shouldn't push her because she misses less.
Yeah. Okay. But so we'll just let this play out. The reason why this never should happen is because
you should be standing in the bush at least.
Yes.
Because they literally don't know they're coming. Literally don't know. Which is a problem.
So you have first of all 3 ranged champions that want to stay as far away from these people as possible.
Yeah. And if we go back a bit and can you toggle the vision? So it's briefing only?
You have no idea that that's happening. So they're like what 200 units away from you right now, and you have no idea.
Yes, at least stand in the bush.
But so what you should be doing for anyone who doesn't know yet, stand here. Actually, I should get a more visible color. Stand here, 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 and then you can have someone standing in mid lane.
So this is the only part where I did like not too bad.
The reason why you do this is because
I mean you're yeah.
There's theoretically no other way they can get into your jungle unless they literally walk past your towers.
It's not like you didn't do too bad. It's your team entered and you just couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not playing well. It's your team entering.
Yeah. That's fine. But so, yeah. You just sort of have to avoid these things. The worst thing that could happen out of the situation is that Kindred dies, because if you know that they're coming, even if they might be able to kill you, you could still go to your blue buff. You could go to their red buff. Trade rather than just concede stuff to them. But like also the game isn't over just yet. I know some of you have the habit of just sort of going on tilt. It's 600 gold because first blood plus assist. Yes, YUNFEI is going to have a really bad start, but there's still other ways you can win the game. All right.
Okay, so Shen shouldn't be pushing here because he doesn't know where.
So
Doesn't
first of all,
know
you know
where Lulu's
Lulu's
from.
coming back up top because you saw her walk past Leo. I think.
Yeah.
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 Can we swap back from
Virginia.
Yeah. Okay.
Leo spots her here, so you know she's coming back up top. And the thing about Shen, especially in the range versus melee matchup, is that you want your minion wave as close to your tower as possible.
But not actually on the charge.
Yes. No. You want to freeze it outside your tower.
Because okay, if you have it outside your turret, you get an entire lane to duel them down, so you can chase them. You get more time to chase them, and they're not on the safety of their tower.
So
And you're in control of the wave position, and they're really if they get ganked, they die. Basically, they can't do anything about it. That's the disadvantages of a ranged. But if they actually push it under your tower, they can harass you on the tower, and you can't do anything about it, even if you're Shen.
So like definitely the strength of like melee champions is that once you're in melee range, very generally speaking, you'll be doing more damage, right? So you want to spend as much time in melee range, and having this much space rather than this much space gives you more time to be in melee range. And then also what Victor said about like you don't want to get harassed on the tower because Lulu will just keep harassing you with her Q and her auto attacks. And then after the wave is pushed onto your tower.
Oh, alternatively, another way you could play it is by pushing the wave onto their tower and keeping it under their tower, so you can do enchantments with a lot of wave clear.
Yeah.
And the reason why this works is because they have to focus on CSing rather than attacking you.
Definitely not on Shen though, because he doesn't have any wave clear. Like
until you get Tiamat.
He can wave clear with his E.
Does he even do that?
No, doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's like
Yeah. So definitely people like Shen, Nasus if you're starting Q. So against ranged matchups you usually start E.
Yeah.
Champions with low wave clear, you just want to have under your turret.
Yeah. And just low healer, they're going to just push into you constantly, and you can just freeze them.
But like in general, with every single matchup, you always want to be conscious of do you want to push in or do you want to have it outside your tower? And you have to think about this at it's a dynamic thing, right? So if you're super ahead on Shen and the Lulu is playing really safe, then maybe you want to push in to deny her CS.
Freezing is also denying CS, but
yeah. But you want to. It's not like. First of all, it's not a matchup thing where you always want to be in this position. You always have to think about what are my goals and objectives currently. Maybe you want priority to go help out with Rift. Yeah. And then
do I want to interface with my jungler?
The second thing is that it's something that a lot of low elo players don't think about, and it's something that will put you really far ahead. Because in terms of zoning, it can mean the difference between falling behind 30 CS and getting ahead 30 CS. Or like even more than that. It depends on how good the player is, but it's very important that you make it a conscious thing that you think about. So in this case, something I've heard people do is that they walk up to the enemy minion wave, they stack it up here, and they make it collide more efficiently, so it would push into you.
It's an even minion wave on their side of the map. This means that their reinforcements, that their next minion wave is going to collide first, and therefore they'll do more damage before your minion wave can reinforce.
So like, when their minion wave crashes, they'll have 7 here, and when your minion wave crashes, later.
It's gonna be later.
it'll be 6
It's
minions
gonna
here.
crash later, so they're gonna have more time to do damage.
So eventually it'll slow push towards you, and then you can manipulate it into a freeze outside your tower. So that's one of the things that Lulu would lose out on by moving
It's
down
similar to
towards the red buff.
it's similar to how Dota you can what do you call it? I don't play Dota.
It's I can't actually remember.
Yeah, but
Standing
in
time
Dota
to creeps, basically, just blocking the
yeah,
creep
yeah.
wave.
Creep blocking.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But you want your minions to enter the lane slower. I think. Well, no, you want the enemy minions to enter the lane slower in League, so that it eventually slow pushes towards your tower. That's the best you can do. In Dota, there's a thing called creep blocking,
No.
where you have your minions enter the wave slower, such that they are next to your tower, and so when the waves collide, they collide next to your tower.
No, closer, so you can.
Yeah, closer. But so also there's an effect of bunching up the minions, so that they'll clash with 3 caster minions and 3 melee minions on this first guy.
On the first one and burst down faster.
Yeah.
But you also need to take advantage of the bush to actually do this. So if you step in and out of the bush, you reduce as much minion damage as possible.
Yeah, and that's also for freezing. You don't when you freeze a wave here, right? Do this if you
Sometimes
can.
it's going to be melee minions that like go into the range of your tower, and you don't want that. So you drag them back out and go in and out of the bush. So they just stay there.
So imagine like this is the tower range. It obviously isn't, but like it's easier for me to feel. If a melee minion goes into here, you can stand over here and pop inside out of the bush, and the melee minion will come towards you, so long as you aggro the minion.
Yeah, and you're visible.
But so there's a lot of lane mechanics that they're not inherent in a champion's kit. Doesn't tell you about this. This is sort of, it's not macro, but it's not.
It is macro.
It is macro in its own way.
It affects the map state.
Yeah, and you have to think about it long term. You can't just be like, press this button to do this. It's a long game plan. But so definitely don't order this minion, because it means it'll push into Lulu. Sort of.
Yes, if you auto a minion, it'll push.
Don't make sure you make the decision as you enter the lane if you're going to push or like if you're going to let the wave come into you.
Yeah, this time because you're a student of where the jungle started, they could have recalled and started red, which is unlikely, but they might have. And you don't know where Lulu. You don't literally. You know Lulu's bot was bot as well. You can manipulate the wave, and it's safer anyways.
Yeah.
It's just safer.
If Lulu was here, she'd probably be able to stop you from interacting with the minion wave like this. But that's what she loses out on by going bot. But yeah, so that's essentially the majority of the fundamentals you have to learn for the range versus melee matchup. And you're probably gonna hear me and Victor repeat and talk about this a lot, and it might get a bit monotonous. But there's a lot of champion specifics, but you don't really need to know that. This is what's important. Leo, do you have any questions? Leo's also here, by the way, I think.
Not really. It's pretty clear.
But yeah, we'll just continue on with the replay. So Shen pushing in the wave here isn't ideal. You should go for a cheetah strat that would like where you want to push in the wave. But I think you're just not. That would require you to play differently. Also, just sort of be careful of like the damage that you take. You definitely don't want to take damage for free. Where you saw like Lulu attack here, I think it was. If you're not taking CS, or if you're not walking up to CS, then you don't want to be taking damage, like here.
Yeah,
It will-
just stand back. You want to stand outside of auto attack range.
Um, if a minion's going to die within the next 1 second, or like however long it'll take you to get there, then you weigh the difference of how much damage should I take versus how much gold I would get from this minion. You definitely don't want to let yourself get pushed outside of experience range. That
And
is
that's a problem. That's a level 1 problem that you can't do anything if Lulu decides to
just walk up to you.
stand behind you, between you and your minions. There's nothing you can do.
Once you get to level 2, that's when the matchup starts becoming a lot more dynamic. But right now you just have to be careful. Thankfully, Lulu isn't a pro player. She isn't punishing you too hard. So you want to stand. What's Lulu's attack range? Probably like.
I can't tell. It's okay. It's not great.
It's
It's
slightly
like
bigger, I
it's
think.
like here, right? Ish.
That's
Yeah, I
the
was thinking
whole
slightly
circle.
bigger, but
And that's not even a circle. It's around that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be Lulu's attack range.
No.
You want to be This is probably okay, like an okay position to hold.
Yeah.
And you want to tether to her. So every time she moves forward, you move back.
Oh no. If she moves forward in this situation, you can move forward because she's gonna be standing between you and your
Like
thing.
cast minions.
And your sword thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you, and that applies to slow, so you can take an extended trade with the 3 autos and probably do more damage.
But like also, if she moves back, to the safety of her minions, which she really shouldn't. There's no reason why she should. But that gives you permission to also move forward the same way she does. So, like-
Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
I would suggest trying Ignite in this matchup because being able to all in a range champion with the Ignite kill pressure is really helpful.
Yeah. So you're going to get. This is the XP bar, right? The purple thing. You're going to get level 2 of the next minion, I think.
Next melee, yes,
Yeah.
it's 6+1.
So you especially be watching this minion very, very carefully.
If you can walk up auto at once, yeah, go for it. Because you've got E now, or even potentially W if Lulu decides to stand right next to you, and you just Q W.
At level 2, you pretty much always win the trade, just because you can taunt and use your Q, unless you misfire horribly or you're standing inside their minion wave.
Yeah.
Part of what's
and-
interesting about this right now is that if you go up and order this, Lulu is standing in the middle of your minion wave. So if you taunt her, she's taking damage from all these caster minions.
No, or even if she just autos you.
Yeah.
That taunts minion accurate.
You're in a really good position to attack her if you choose to go in on her.
And this is a scenario where Ignite would just be better
Because you just kill her.
yeah, you just kill her. Sure, it doesn't have the same use as like teleport.
Even
later on, but you have your ult. You have
if
Shen
you
ult.
don't get in kill range, it's that she has to be careful of the ignite, and she has to then she then considers, do I have to recall here?
Yeah.
But like, you definitely want this minion. You want to try and get this minion to die before Lulu hits level 2. You
Okay, now
maybe
it's time
don't
to
want to
go.
use your Q on it. So
Wait.
that was a blunder. You do not use your Q on this minion. You're thinking in your head, I want to go in as soon as this minion dies. This minion will die within 8 seconds. If I use my Q on this minion to kill it, you watch what happens here. Half your damage is gone. And
You
Lulu
get
ends up winning the
pulled, you
trade.
can't do anything. You try and run away. You can't do anything.
You
know what happens.
Yeah, but you don't. Even if you do find yourself in a situation where you miss XP, where you miscount XP and you accidentally use your Q too early, you just wait 4 seconds. that would be better than going in right now.
Oh, and here what Lulu does is correct.
Yeah.
As a range champion, because you have the range advantage, as you try to back out, you have to harass them as much as you can, because you know their stuff is on cooldown and they can't get
So,
back
like,
into you.
I don't know if she's counting the level 2 XP, but she's definitely moving to a much safer position where when you E onto her, you take damage from 3 caster minions, and that's bad. Not good.
I also want to have a YUNFEI start. It's probably just got
Yeah.
the ends awful. Gromp, did you take Gromp?
Yeah, she took Gromp.
Slow. Smite, she used Smite.
Let's start from blue buff, which wasn't actually
That's just a lethal start. It's bad, but at least you're kindred.
Alright, so she starts blue buff as soon as it pops
No,
out.
I just wanted to see what she did. It's okay. She could kite it more, but it's okay. That's all. So just a note, Yunfei or any junglers, kite it more if you're playing kindred. You're taking all the damage from it. Krugs, she reset Krugs. Oops. Krugs, you can't. Kiting.
You mean Gromp?
Kiting Gromp is really good because the first 3 autos, is it 3, 4, or 5? Some number of auto attacks from Gromp. Gain attack speed. So if you kite it out, you effectively remove that attack speed bonus that Gromp has. It's one of the scenarios when you actually want to kite each auto rather than taking 2 and then kiting 1.
Does League of Legends let you see the abilities for monsters?
Yes, it does. You can click on it. It shows you.
Resetting Gromp, not the best idea. Patience, monster's toughness. No, it doesn't. I can't see it here.
No, you can, but maybe if you're.
Maybe I can see the buff from it. So Smite's the blue buff, which is okay because you
you
don't
didn't
have.
need to. That's some horrible.
Wouldn't you have to at least use it on the second camp? Oh. Because you don't have any leashes, and she's not. I guess if you're kiting better.
If you kited better, you wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
Because you're playing kindred. It's disgusting. You're clear on single target camps is so good. So good.
Yeah.
We already know what happens top lane. Bot lane, anything interesting?
Bot lane?
Mid lane, I don't really care about. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's a Lux Jinx versus Tristana Morgana. Yeah, who cares about mid lane? We know what happens.
Yeah, I just end.
Yeah, you entered.
Yep.
I think you already know that. Let's ignore it for a bit because we've talked about it a lot.
We've talked about it very extensively.
Yeah, I've also been flamed very extensively.
Trist Morgana should win.
Yes.
Yes. Trist took PTA. What did Lux take?
Electrocute.
Electrocute. What did Lux take? I can't see.
Lux took Dark Harvest.
I mean, still, you should win because.
Yeah.
What does Jinx do?
I mean, so long as you're not like in the empty minion wave running into her rockets, I think that's the only way you can lose.
And also, just go in.
Lux
go
is
in.
no matter. Alright. So one thing about Lux, especially Lux support, is that when she uses her E costs 80 mana. She has 560. She has 7 casts of her E.
Well, it's more like 8 because you got the mana regen taking.
Yeah, but like her E is very mana hungry, which is one of the problems why Lux doesn't regularly enter the meta.
Unless you have some keystones that make her more tanky.
Yeah.
And like Aftershock or Guardian, and you have a bunch of shields, and you're basically a tank.
Yeah. But so like
that deals a lot of damage.
The problem to Lux is that like her E doesn't deal enough damage for the mana that it costs, unless you're proccing the auto attack buff every single time.
Buff,
yeah.
Which counts as 3 separate instances of damage.
Yeah. But also that's kind of hard if your opponent is playing well.
Yeah. What did Morgana start?
Q into E.
Q into E. That's fine. E's good.
I think it's okay against the Lux route specifically.
Yeah, no, just take E. E's a good ability. E's busted. It's fucking bullshit. What did Triss take?
I feel like there are like matchups so where you take Q into W then E.
I mean, still, E's really
E
fucking
is very
busted.
good, yeah.
What did Triss take?
Triss.
Just E.
Hopefully she took E. It's EWQ, right? For Triss? No, she took EQ.
EQ. In this scenario, you could make a case for starting. Fucking jump in, please. For starting W. Because you know that they're not going to be able to kill you, pretty much, if Morgana's on the ball.
Because Morgana will have Buck Shield for the root, and
you've also got Ignite.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's just jump in. They can't really do much.
They see them place the
and
ward.
Triss does a lot of damage early. Like it's surprising.
So I just want to see if they saw Lux place the ward.
I actually don't know why she's playing so passively.
They placed the ward just before I came, which was pretty unfortunate.
But so
Yeah,
no, like did they see them place it? So you technically you should be able to know that Lux placed the ward in the bush. There's no reason that you walk up there unless you're a good player. Read your opponent.
You should blame both.
Actually, wait, they were pinging enemy vision here.
Yo, so I tried to go around, but I messed up my E.
How'd you go around that ward?
What? Go around like here?
You go to turret. It's the same as the flash. You end up in turret. You just didn't.
It's fairly
I don't
outside.
think going behind them is the best idea because Lux will still root you and then they can't. Morgana and just don't be able to.
Literally, just fucking go in. I mean, like I'm talking about Tristan Morgana.
Yeah. If they're walking up here, I think there's a chance of an engage happening. Because
honestly, how do you stuff it up to Tristan Morgana?
Because right now, because when you first jump in, they're back here, which makes it essentially a 1v2 for like a second, which is enough time in league to deal this much damage, right? It's not good.
Triss is fucking jerking off.
Alright, so Lux has no mana. She cannot cast her E. The most she can cast her Q. She'll regen in a bit. But you don't have to worry about Lux. Jinx won't deal enough damage, especially without like she won't be able to poke you with Zap. She's also one ability caster away from out of mana. You
literally just flash in. I don't understand.
You can win any trade you take so long as you don't stand inside them anyway.
Even so, you still win because you can just cast more abilities.
Yeah.
I understand.
There's a fight here.
That was interesting. Report YUNFEI. She entered you.
Okay, so she definitely don't want to fight the don't fight the Yi here. Don't be decisive. Are you going to fight E or not? There's literally no camps here. There's no. If he goes into your jungle, he's going to steal your empty pockets.
And he's got red buff. He can kill you.
There's checking for the scuttle isn't a mistake. That's fine. Staying around for 3 seconds afterwards is a mistake, especially when your mid laner definitely can't help you because he's about to die.
Yeah.
He
has died.
He should be there in the first place. He should be back.
Yeah. As soon as you see Yi is taking the scuttle, you know that Yi is stronger in a 1v1 fight. You know that he'll be stronger in the 2v2 fight because your talent is dead.
Stronger in the 1v1 fight with red buff.
Yeah.
If he didn't have red buff, Kindred can kite Yi out, so he would be back. But not with red buff. Yes.
His Wuju cell is down. But he's I'd say
you have two slows. You have two slows and a jump.
and his Q is down. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to know that. You have 2 slows and a jump, and that's all you need to know. You just slow him to death. He's not 6 yet. He can't Highlander.
But
He can't
so,
run it.
in my opinion, the worst mistake is never if you choose to go in. That's not the worst mistake you can make. The worst mistake is being indecisive. Because you walk back, you walk towards him, you walk back. Like if you're walking around here, walk around here. And try to get around the
Leo dies for it.
try to get
which
around
is
the ruin.
fine. I mean, I don't blame you for dying to it.
Yeah.
Because you tried to help your teammate, and your teammate's just a fucking into garbage.
Like, why would you just walk back into melee range? That's pretty stupid.
No. You got Q again.
If you at least say, I make the choice to go in, then you can know for the future I shouldn't go in the future. If you make the indecisive choice of should I go in, should I stay, then you're just guaranteeing that you're going to lose. You're taking the worst option that you can think of because it's worse than going in and it's worse than leaving.
Can you go back a bit? Where Solomon gets the solo kill.
Where is that?
Oh yeah, that was a bit under the tower where he taunted Lulu.
Go back a bit more. Is it a bit more?
I don't think Solomon gets solo kills. He gets a solo kill.
No, he gets a solo kill.
He gets a solo kill. I said I want to see that.
So, honestly, this is less so Solomon being good, but like Lulu is just inting. First of all, Lulu should be standing here and harassing Solomon.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know why she shouldn't be sitting in the bush.
She might be AFK, who knows?
Who knows?
And then I remember this. It was like,
minions,
what are you doing? She's let
minions.
She's letting him regain all this HP. Minion is dead.
And
then now she chooses to start engaging
and
inside the entire minion wave.
Yeah, and she pressed E first, not afterwards.
This is not what this is not what you do.
That was a negative IQ play.
Interesting one. Good work for capitalizing on it. Okay, good. Made the right play.
I think you just push in. I think the best you can do is recall.
Just reset.
No. Push the next wave. Push the next wave.
This wave?
Yes, because
because you have to reset.
No. Also, she doesn't have TP, and you know she's not going to make it back in time.
You don't need to put this ward down, because
you back anyways.
You see here, you're going back.
And now you're back. Oh, don't get tired.
No.
That's a mistake.
Yes. So this is what I'm saying about
not knowing.
Like you need to know your back timings. Lulu died and recalled. It's a forced recall, but she still gets gold to spend. So because she has quote unquote 3 items, the 3 basic items, and you have 1 basic item. Theoretically, she wins any engagement. She doesn't, but like in general, it's better for you.
She does in this case. There's no way.
It's better for you to push in as fast as possible. Go to like maybe a bush. If you're feeling risky, you don't even have to go to a bush. Recall, come back into the lane because you don't.
In this case, I'd actually recommend not backing in a bush and just deliberately provoking Lulu to attack you, because she's gonna be missing out on gold and EXP. You just can't stay. You can't do it for too long, because then you won't actually get the back off.
Yeah.
Because it's a really large wave that's on the tower. If she doesn't get it.
So like it's a difference of how much value do you get from staying versus leaving. If you stay, first of all there's a chance. It's not guaranteed that you get the first target fighting because Lulu has respawned and she's actually here right now.
You won't actually get the first target fight in this scenario anyway. So
the minion wave is still going to be there. It's not like cookies in a cookie jar. They do not disappear randomly when your family just takes them from you, and even though it's your favorite cookies and you specifically ask them to keep it safe. No. This is fine. Lulu can't attack her own minions. This is one of the things that I like about Dota that I don't like about League, is that you can't deny your own creeps. Lulu's minions are still going to be there when you come back. You're not losing any value by recalling, and what you gain by recalling is more items. You have 22 CS to her 11. You have 1 kill to her first blood. You definitely have more gold here, and you could definitely pick up an item advantage here. And even if the jungler were to teleport to top lane and to push in your wave, you still have TP. So like you are in the most safe position to recall right now.
Yeah, after pushing in the wave. Yep. Thing is risky. It's just.
You don't even walk up to take the demolish block. There is no reason to. Because
you don't even get anything for actually getting the demolish block off.
And so then now Lulu has forced you off here. This is a bad situation to be in. And now she's forced you.
It's still fine as long as you recall.
Yeah.
As long as you recall the minions are still on the chart, and she's not gonna push the wave fast enough for you to actually lose minions. You could literally just walk back. You can walk back to lane and not lose a single minion.
It's still a worse. I think it's a worse decision than before because you're either choosing to recall late.
No, but recalling late doesn't matter because her wave is not going to die. Your wave is on the tower. You're not going to lose anything if you recall now.
I mean, how fast can Lulu push? I thought
not too fast.
Her Q and her passive is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, but it needs to scale.
It's still auto attacks. It's not auto. It's auto attacks that don't have Tiamat or Runans, and her Q is like a single AoE ability that doesn't clear a minion wave fast enough. She can't push it. It's still under her tower. No, she's not going to.
But so this is where you definitely just leave.
Just leave. Just time it. Okay. Still, not recalling first was a bad idea. You should have recalled. You see, you're not going to get the tower plate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not. Okay.
I mean, you could if you wanted to, like, suicide.
It's also a possibility.
150 versus 300 gold plus free recall.
Okay, go back 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so count time.
About 5:10. I'll say 5:10.
Okay, 5:10. Okay, so it takes 40 seconds to walk back to lane. 40 seconds in total. Recalling is 9 seconds, 8, 7, something like that. Let's round to 10. And walking back to lane takes 30 seconds. Okay. How much time has it been?
It's been about 40 seconds.
Look, the wave's not on the duty tower. And so you could have just recalled. You would have lost 1 minion. If you greeted for tower plate, which you didn't get, and you only lost 1 minion either way.
And
this is why you lose in the fight though.
I think that's a big rip.
But first of all, is that I'm not sure if you're looking for a Shen level 6 power spike because it literally does not exist.
Yeah, Shen level 6 is more of
unless you ult yourself, then it exists.
His ult is very good.
His ult's great.
Can Shen ult himself though?
No, he can't.
No, he can't.
Okay.
Even if he could, it wouldn't help.
So
because you're literally standing there doing nothing.
Going in on the level up, while on most champions is not, especially on ult, it's a good idea. This is not one of those situations. No, he doesn't die here.
He just burns flash for no reason as well.
No, it's unfortunate.
I think there was a chance that she could have killed him.
Yeah.
This would be big
She
stab.
queued first, and then also that might have worked.
Lulu is greeting.
And then this is when Lulu gets killed again. And Lulu dies here again.
This is where she ends.
Yeah, she gets taunted and then just dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Honestly, that's something I would do.
It's importantly remember, even though you may get a kill, you have to distinguish it between whether you did something right or whether the opponent did something wrong. Because yes, you got the kill here, but it still doesn't. It doesn't mean that what you did was right. It just means what she did was worse.
Yeah.
And
This
so
is, yeah, okay. It's a
congrats,
bad way.
you
It's a
punished a
bad way
mistake.
to back on that you have to back. If TP should fix it. But
Oh no, he's just shielding her.
oh god.
You
need.
He just chases. This is they're chasing way too far
this,
here.
first of all, this is definitely not valuable. You're not going to catch him in time. Riven is coming back.
Yeah, Solomon always over chases. Like we need to do something about that.
But so
just tell him to not over chase. Just ping danger. No one's ping danger.
Yeah, he doesn't listen.
No one's ping danger. Okay, sure.
No,
why do you and Yuki follow him?
Stop ping.
Just ping danger. Don't scream at him. Just ping danger, and get the random to report him as well.
Like, alright, so if Solomon chases here and you say no, this is a bad idea, you tell YUNFEI to back off. You don't chase, and you just let him die.
I chase as well because this is before like I started to like get better.
But so like, you say like my teammate's going in, so I must go in to help him. This is exactly what you shouldn't do because
well, sometimes, but in this case, no.
Because you know that you're not gonna get any value from it.
Yeah.
There's no chance he's ever gonna die, and there's a chance that you're going to die.
If you could save Shen from dying, maybe, but it's just not going to happen. Shen has a death wish in this case.
Recall, the TP was good. It was a good use of the TP. Not gonna lie.
But like, so you know how where you say you have those games where you carry really hard and you have a really high kills and really high deaths? I'd imagine that like a few of those deaths would come from trying to save teammates and trying to make fights work, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you don't do.
Okay,
because
so I just leave my teammates for the dead. That doesn't exactly sound nice.
It doesn't sound nice, but it's how you win the game.
Okay, so you're discouraging team play in a game. That's about it.
In a pro team, right? In a pro team where you know all your players and you know they're all reliable, then you have a conversation about it in voice comms and you say, benefits and cons, I think this is the thing to go in, and maybe you trust that person enough to go in with them. In this case...
But not in bronze.
First of all, not in solo queue. Never in solo queue.
Yeah.
But if you know someone is going to die here, honestly, isn't it just better for him to die and to learn than to
seeing your teammate die and then not do anything about it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I die here.
Yeah.
Because I E over the wall into Riven.
Second of all, again, indecisiveness. Decide: are you staying? Are you fighting? If you're staying, why is Solomon leaving? If you're leaving, why are you spending another 5 seconds hovering around here? Because YUNFEI is clearly going to die. I can see that.
So here realistically, I should be like trying to make maybe.
This is fine. Leave. Just leave it alone. Go away. Go to the lane. Look at CS. Don't engage.
Question mark.
Don't chase under tower. Don't take the tower shot.
Yeah, I run away. I just. Oh no. Hindsight is painful.
You have. I counted like 3 opportunities to just disengage. And it just gets progressively worse.
Bro, I just watched myself in. That was not fun. I could have gone to top lane in there instead of just going backwards.
Solomon chases up here. Then he starts to go down. This is fine. YUNFEI walks back immediately. You don't walk up and forwards. This is fine.
Okay,
you walk, second time, you disengage here. Then I think you're about to disengage.
Walking back, I don't understand.
And then, alright, so then you go on Yi. This is fine. Disengage here. And then you take power shot and bye. Not good.
You didn't even walk around the other way. You could
it's painful seeing this. Okay, it's painful.
Okay, so first of all, decide whether or not you're going in, because he spends so much time dancing around ranges. two of you are melee
I
champions.
remember in comms it was like, oh, we should go in, and then like YUNFEI was just like, no.
It's important like if I'm on your team, I can tell you don't go in, and you listen to me, right?
Yeah, I would listen to you.
It's
You're the player
important
I trust.
to decide who are you listening to, and if there is no one to listen to, then you just let other people die.
Okay.
That's
So shouldn't listen to Tracy.
part of the reason why you can depend on your teammates in a pro team is that you always have a shot caller.
You got cut off, I think.
In a professional team, you will always have a shot caller.
Yeah.
There is no professional League of Legends team where they are without a shot caller.
Yeah, IGL, yeah.
So,
Makes
secondly, if you're deciding to go in, you have two melee champions and a ranged champion. Now, it's fine for the ranged champion to skirt around the edges of their range. That's what they should be doing. The melee champions, if they want to go in, should be going into melee range as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should because you'll win the fight. You will lose the fight, which is what happens here. But don't be indecisive about it. You're taking the worst of both worlds. You're both disengaging and engaging at the same time, and it doesn't make any sense. And then you end up with scenarios like this where, first of all, you die. Second of all, you spend 40 seconds in the progress of falling over.
Yeah. That was painful to watch.
You take the turret shot.
Yeah, I think what was happening there was like, I was like, oh, my queue's up in 2 seconds.
Don't walk back here. Walk around, up. Because essentially,
that would have been a good idea.
So, what I think if I were to take a screenshot of this, right, and you're going up here, I would assume that you continue this trajectory up and leave.
Yeah.
By going up, then back down here. When the fight is moving, like Riven goes here, Shen goes back to here, Riven goes here. Her abilities are all AoE, and she just kills you both. It's not efficient. It's not good.
Yeah. We're gonna be going away.
Oh, well, okay, that's fine.
It really is not fine. I think this is where we lost game. We couldn't do too much after this.
Honestly, until your first thing comes down, he's 3-0. Riven is 4-0.
That's not
So
good.
Riven's CS is
that's good.
Riven's CS is crap, but your CS is crap.
Yeah, Riven's bad, and I just keep getting joined after
if the Trist was amazing, there's a chance you can come back. If the Shen does what he's supposed to do, because he's 2-1,
that's a bad item buy. Do not don't go for Sunfire Cape. Why are you going for Sunfire Cape? Just okay, you got ult. You got ult, just run away.
Wait, what is Shen supposed to do? What I mean build.
What?
Okay. No. Shen building Sunfire is okay, just not in this lane because you lose damage, and damage is what you want.
Oh yeah, true, because Sunfire keeps like melee range, basically.
No, not just melee range, but it deals with damage. It's not a combat item. It's a wave clearing item. But there's another option that works equally well for Shen, if not better, and that's Tiamat.
Yes.
You do a lot more damage with Tiamat.
Tiamat means you also gain control of the wave.
Yeah, when I first started playing Talon, I always forget to buy Tiamat and just go straight into Duskblade.
And also, it gives you bonus health regen, which is nice. It's not great, but it's certainly nice.
Yeah.
It certainly helps.
For a lot of melee champions, especially into the melee range matchup, getting Tiamat is amazing because it means you can choose whether to push or whether to. I guess
you can't
it's a lot harder to freeze. It's a lot harder to freeze, but it gives you the option of pushing.
Yeah. And also, this is you have 6 now. You need to, if you want to use it ult, you need to push, and you can't do that with Sunfire Cape because it takes too long.
Yeah.
And it also gives you a bit of bonus range if you use your Tiamat active, which is helpful. Tiamat active basically gives you range to CS or keep up your grasp, or it's really useful. But mainly you need to farm CS from range.
I think the problem is that Solomon is just following the basic build guide, which is following the basic build guide is fine if you're playing the champion for the first time and you have no idea what the kit is. After like, say you're playing against like Rise top lane, and then you build full armor. Is the problem?
Yeah, bad
And
idea.
also,
Yeah, like Rise's autos will do no damage, but then his Q's gonna nuke you.
yeah, and you also still need to gain control of the wave because Rise will just push you in repeatedly and roam with ult, and you can't do anything about it.
No, in this case, like Lulu is doing physical damage. She's building all AD. This is fine. To build armor, but it's not the best thing you could be building.
Yeah, building Tiamat would just give you the ability to all in better as well, which is good.
After you kill Lulu here, I like the choice to kill the minion wave. I'm going to. What I would do here is I think I would just recall. Because too low.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
What?
The wave's in a bad position every time he does it because he doesn't freeze and he's not pushing either, which is
He's not deciding.
He doesn't freeze. The wave just happens. You come outside the tower.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a thing where like it's a gamble. I don't like gambles in League. I like consistency. That's why I play more macro focused champions. You don't have TP, which means if you recall, you can't. It doesn't give you the immediate option of fixing up the wave. I think there are definitely players that would take the option to push in, and like they would be able to justify that. If you wanted to be like amazing top player professional, you don't have vision of the how long ago did the fight happen? 8 minutes. So 1 minute ago, it would have been a tier.
Yeah.
I don't think it
could still be top. It's risky.
Yeah. It's up to you and how you want to be a League of Legends player. You can take more risks, or you can take less risks if you want to. My opinion is that I would back. I don't feel comfortable at 15 or 20% health.
Yeah, well, especially if it was first time in Shen, like Solomon was.
Was it his first time?
It was either his first, second, or third.
I would guess like he's definitely it's not his like he's not experienced as a champion. I don't think it's his first time.
Yeah, probably not his first. Like
I don't know.
10th.
Like Victor, well, it like assuming you don't have assuming there is fog of war because like you have to view it from like Shen's viewpoint. What would you do?
Well, it's assuming there is fog of war, I'd still push it in because the wave's terrible. It depends on where the jungle was. I've been paying attention to what camps have been up.
Yeah.
We do know he was top 1 minute ago, and he could be taking Scuttle. He was Krugs. He could have recalled or gone top, but yeah, it's risky.
It's risky.
It's definitely risky. It also depends on what cap he has. Bot side.
There's a lot of factors to play into it, and
like
a professional player.
If I knew that his Krugs went up and he had recalled, then I would keep him pushing because it's unlikely he'd be top.
If you were to talk to a professional caster, they could probably walk you through the decision-making process of exactly where Yi should be. Maybe not where Yi is because there's always variance, and like there is variance in this case because there's probably no reason why he should be top. But if you talk to like the person that instantly comes to my mind is LS because I watch a lot of his videos.
LS is like some things he's biased towards, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
He's biased, but he's not bad.
He's I definitely find him entertaining to watch. And a lot of people find him quite toxic because he's not very explainy.
Low standards.
He he's a caster. He isn't a teacher. Part of what I try to have between you guys and me is like a very sort of comfortable atmosphere. I don't know if it comes out.
In
Yeah, it
program,
comes up enough.
in LCK, he does actually explain more than the rest of the casters. In pro games.
Yeah.
There's only one other caster in LCK.
Anyhow, up to you what you want to do. There's a lot of variables that play into it. As Victor said, if you know where all the camps are, you could know where you should be. I don't. I feel unsafe because I just like a solid consistent game, and I'd rather take a smaller lead for a more consistent win. I'm interested, Leo. What would you do?
Knowing me, I'll probably go for big risks, but I do know that it's better to take small leads and to build off it.
No, like what would you do? Not what should you do?
Where right now? Like
in this situation, if you were Solomon in this situation, what would you do?
Well, take the last creep and just get the hell out of there.
Okay. I'm not gonna like say any play is the right play or the wrong play. That's just sometimes a thing in League.
Depends on where.
And honestly, when it comes to the high level stuff, any game taken to the highest level is essentially a game of poker. If you're like
exaggerating a tiny bit, but
if you
yes.
Because like if it becomes a leveling process of if you know that Yi shouldn't be here, then Yi might be here to surprise you when you push this in, which means you should recall, which means Yi doesn't come up here, and so on and so forth. So if you're an amazing poker player and you haven't like a great read on the opponent, that could be a thing. That could be a variable in play. You may know that Yi doesn't like to take risks, so you can take a risk here. It's up to you.
Yeah. Do you know? I would not back there if I was him.
So this is unfortunate.
Yeah. I would not back in the middle of the lane. I would walk back to tower and then.
It depends. Do you want to get the faster recall or like the tower safety?
And I'm pretty sure I should have roamed this.
Again, there's another risk thing. I don't. When did you choose
I
to
just
roam?
forgot where he went, so that sort of didn't go well.
I feel
I was looking over the wall, but the wall was on cooldown, I think, and
I feel like you're too late to do anything because Yi under tower is very strong because of his Q.
Oh yeah.
So unless you were already roaming and were getting there when Solomon was just dying, I don't think there's like, I don't think you're gonna do anything.
Yeah. Let's just go back to lane. I don't think I've missed too many creeps. Like I think I missed one or two.
I think we've been like talking for an hour now.
Not really. I think.
No, like the call started at 7:33, 6:33. Maybe start to wrap this up. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, yeah, we've talked about everything that Solomon can do in the situation. A lot of it is just repeated mistakes. You don't want to be fighting this many caster minions.
Yeah. I think at this point the game is pretty much over.
Yeah, because Master Yi fed, Riven fed. I'm useless now because I didn't do anything early and now it's mid game.
So in terms of notes for everyone, 5-point jungle positioning.
Yeah, people, we still don't do that enough. Like usually me and Andre and May, we usually sit like in one of the positions, but and then YUNFEI sometimes goes. I don't really take notice, and Solomon usually sits in lane.
We're in the range.
So we should probably be doing that more.
I can't stress how important it is for like pretty much everyone that plays top lane to learn the range versus melee matchup and even mid lane. So I feel like mid lane is a bit less because you have a lot of assassins there.
Yeah, a lot of engage.
Yeah, like mid lane's a lot, very, very, very different.
Mid lane range
yeah,
into
it's
melee into range is usually a good matchup for the melee because you just farm safe level 1 and then level 2 you just all in,
but
and
like
then the range champion can't do much
there's a lot
because
of things that are different. Like towers are a lot closer. Gives you less opportunity to chase them down.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are generally a lot more mobile.
To be more bursty as well.
Yeah.
The mages in mid
Yeah.
lane tend to be a lot. They'll either be specialized into early game or late game generally. There are
I
some.
actually can't think of too many early game mages,
Um,
especially mid or late.
but like if you're playing top lane, very important. We talked about this a lot of times. Learn the
I mean,
main
Big
range
Uphouse is
mechanic.
an early game mage.
If in one tune, for the Lulu, don't greed. Don't stand under
Yeah, I greed
our
way too often.
early game was good, but don't take fights in the way. For Solomon, be conscious at the start of the game how you want to play the lane. This is very important. This is why I'm telling you guys at the start of every game, how am I going to play this lane matchup? That can win you a game if you're voicing out what you think you should be doing.
Yeah.
Don't rely on your instincts because instincts are never as smart as like conscious thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're making a play, sure, use instincts because your reaction speed with instincts and like is of course going to be a lot better. But
YUNFEI, be more decisive.
I think that
Sure.
applies to everyone actually.
I don't think I need to put stuff for Leo because we've already talked to him about that.
Yeah, you already flamed me enough. Okay, I don't
Victor,
need to
is there
flame
anything you want to talk about? On the notes. Vic?
not really. No, I think you've already explained.
Anything about jungle pathing that you like specifically noticed, or it's fine. Because like I can't comment on jungle pathing.
Possibly don't reset the camps.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not really a jungle pathing thing though.
But still.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been an hour, and I generally like to keep these things watchable.
Yeah, I think I was already going over it a bit.
So I'm just gonna wrap up there.
Oh.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions, you can ask me later. Bye.
Yeah.